have an emergency.
Today on Rescue 911, fire in the night.
We had to get out of there.
A house engulfed in flames
It was like a tidal wave.
could tear one family apart.
All of us knew it was hopeless.
We begin on March 14th, 1991, as Lorene Johnson was spending a quiet evening with her family at their home in Detroit, Michigan.
Me, Leroy, and my two younger kids were in the bedroom watching a little television. And I guess we fell asleep about 12. Joshua, which is my youngest child, we usually stick a bottle in the bed with him, and he wakes up like once a night, and he just reaches over, grab it, and everybody's fine. But this particular night, the bottle must have rolled over on the side of the bed, and he couldn't find the bottle. Hey, Josh. I look to the ceiling and black smoke is just crawling. All I knew, we had to get out of there. So I grabbed the closest baby and I went to the hallway. Flames just shot out at me, so I went back to the bedroom. I got a cover.
The house is on fire. Grab April. Wake up.
Cover.
It was like a tidal wave just about to swoosh down on you. That's how the fire was. The fire spit at me and had caught parts of my hair on fire. At this time, I thought Leroy was behind me with April. And then once I seen that Leroy and April was not behind me, the first thing for me to do was go to the window and see why they hadn't came out.
Leroy!
I can hear him moaning. And I'm like, oh my God, they not gonna come out.
When we continue,
All of us knew it was hopeless. And we kept on pulling, and that bar wasn't going anywhere.
when fire swept through her home in the middle of the night, Lorene Johnson managed to escape with her baby boy. But her boyfriend, Leroy, and their 2-year-old daughter, April, were still trapped somewhere inside the burning house.
Emergency center, what's the problem?
On Cheyenne, I hear somebody knocking next door, hollering my baby got burned up. Could you send a car?
Okay, look, I'm going to hold on. I'm already requesting the police. I'm going to hold on. Can you see from your window if there's a fire at that house?
Let me see what you got.
Okay.
Help!
What's wrong, Lorene?
Lorene ran to her family's house down the street and got her uncle, Arnold, call.
She was just devastated. She's on her mind. I mean, I said, what's wrong? And I couldn't get inside of it. I haven't heard nobody scream like that because it sounded like a death scream. That's what it sounded like.
2-1, make 90.
The report of the fire was relayed to a Detroit police unit on routine patrol less than a mile from the scene.
Leroy!
And that bar wasn't going anywhere. It was bolted down. There was no way humanly possible that a person could pull that off with their hands.
Detroit firefighters immediately responded, but the nearest station was more than 5 miles away.
Leroy!
I didn't know where my baby was. All I knew, she was in that house, and that house was burning. And I really, in my heart, had thought April and Leroy was gone.
Hold on, Leroy! Hey, what's going on?
Then a couple of neighbors, they was trying to help, and we kept on pulling. And we didn't know really what part of the room, were they on the floor, Were they on the bed? Were they alive? Was they dead? All of us knew it was hopeless.
Within 2 minutes, Officer Ernest Wilson and his partner arrived at the scene.
It was amazing that someone was in there, and the possibility of us getting someone out of there seemed very little, a little chance of it.
Officer William Baldwin looked for a way to get inside the house.
The front door was engulfed in flames at that time, so I went around to the side to see if I could get in through the side door.
I thought it might be possible that someone would be on the bed. I don't know if it would be Leroy or April. So I just reached in the bed. I kept on reaching around it. Finally, I felt the sheet. Then I pulled it towards me. But when I pulled the sheet, I noticed there was something heavy on the bed, so it had to be April, somebody small. And I thought the baby would fall off the bed, so I had to be very careful. Then I felt her little legs, but they felt her, so oh my God, I got her.
Get your lady! Leroy! Leroy, come on!
The child felt dead to me. But from past experience, mouth to mouth was a thing that was next.
Work it! Work it! Work it right there! That's no lie!
She was at the window, and I thought my baby was dead. I thought April was gone. Ain't no doubt, I knew she was gone.
Giving that child mouth to mouth was another feeling. Is this going to be in vain? Is it going to be worth doing? While I was giving it and asking the child, breathe for me, breathe for me. Lovely feeling to feel that child cough. Never felt anything else as tremendous as that, seeing this child like it was brought back to life.
Didn't know how much longer we could hold out. The bars were starting to heat up. The fire was starting to grow a little bit closer.
Within minutes, firefighters arrived, led by Lieutenant Peter Tabinka.
I knew right then we didn't have time to wait for the jaws of life or anything. I knew we had to get these bars off the window if we had any chance of getting the girl out of there.
How's the baby? Is she breathing yet? The baby! Don't let her go!
Couldn't say nothing but thank you, and thank you to the man above.
Just started breathing a little. Okay. That cost about 5 minutes. Okay.
To see if this child was going to live was the next thing to think about.
Firefighter Cashin found his way into the bedroom where, under zero visibility, stumbled upon the adult male laying unconscious on the floor. When we first removed the victim, I didn't think that he was going to make it. He let a gasp out, and at that time I knew there was a possibility that he might pull through.
At Henry Ford Hospital, 2-year-old April was examined by emergency physician Russ Lambert.
April certainly suffered tremendous damage to her lungs. Her smoke inhalation was quite significant.
She's loaded with soot. Let's suck that out well.
Okay, bag.
We certainly were unsure whether she'd make it or not.
April was transferred to ICU and put under the care of pediatrician Dr. Elizabeth Contreras.
Whenever I see a child that comes in, initially I'm angry. I'm angry that such a life so full of hope and future can potentially be snuffed out in seconds or minutes.
I sat there for 13, 14 days with my baby in intensive care in a paralyzed state. In my mind, I can't even tell nobody what was going through my mind.
April?
Because I don't know.
Mommy's here.
I really thought my baby was gonna die. For days, I was out my mind. I mean, for days.
One of the good things that happens in treating children is their resilience. Children bounce back a lot quicker than most adults would ever. April suffered injury to her brain from lack of oxygen and from the effects of carbon monoxide poisoning. My prognosis for her, although difficult to say at this point, still remains hopeful.
2 months have passed. April's recovery has been slow. She suffered some lung damage and partial blindness, but there's hope that both conditions will continue to improve.
The happiest moment for me was when Henry Ford Hospital told me my baby can go home. That was the happiest moment. And getting her and Leroy home, getting April and Leroy home was the best thing I could have ever hoped for.
Although Leroy also suffered some lung damage and partial blindness, he's thankful to have escaped with his life.
I really, truly commend all those that put forth a brilliant effort. I think they did a wonderful job in responding at the time that it took them to get there and everything. I'm going to put smoke alarms and security bars on my new house, but I would definitely make sure that these bars will be able to have a release pin to access to getting out in case of an emergency of a fire.
This experience taught me a lot. You only have one life to live, and you have to live it to the best that you know how. So I'm looking up, and from here on in, everything is going up to the sky for me and my kids.